Greetings, good people. The coach coming to you, Thornton Online Marketing. I was listening to a audio by the great Jim Rohn, and for those of you guys who don't know who Jim Rohn is, he's one of the all-time great motivational speakers. And I wanted to share some points that I took out from the audio. I actually took some notes, and I want to go over a few things. It was just a 15-minute clip, man, but I took a couple pages of notes. I mean, he has some phenomenal points. So definitely you want to Google them. And then for you guys who are on my team, you know that's one of the 8 core commitments is to listen to audios daily. You want to get some positive information in your head on a regular basis, because when you do what we do in the home-based business industry, online marketing, internet marketing, you basically sometimes you get beat down a little bit with a lot of negativity because people don't understand what it is that you do and how you can actually help them achieve some of their dreams. So you want to make sure you're recharging that battery with some good positive information, good positive energy, making sure you're associating with the right folks and all that good stuff. But I'm going to go over a list of about 9 or 10 different things. But basically, I was on a talk. If you look on YouTube, there's a talk. Just type in Jim Rohn and success leave clues. And basically, he was just talking about how you can change your life, turn your life around with just a few simple steps. Number 1, get around successful people and listen and observe. All right, that's key, because we are who we are based primarily on 3 things: the books you read, the places you go, and the people that you associate with. So he talked about getting around successful people and listening and observing how they behave in every little thing, because successful people tend to do the same thing over and over and over in the same manner. So that's one thing. Number 2, when you happen to be around unsuccessful people, you can learn lessons from them too. Basically what you're learning is what not to do. All right, so you look at the people, the books that unsuccessful people are reading, and you don't read those books. All right, you look at where unsuccessful people hang out, and you don't want to hang out there. You look at, listen to what the unsuccessful people are talking about, and you don't want to engage in those kind of conversations. So have the persistence of a kid when it comes to business, especially if you're in sales of any kind. And he made the point that, you know, a kid can ask his dad for an ice cream cone. Dad says no, and then 30 minutes later, the kid is licking on an ice cream cone. How does that happen? Because kids are persistent, and they naturally know how to overcome objections. And I just think to my own children, all right, if I tell them no, they're going to ask me why, or they're going to come up with another reason that they should have it. So basically having that persistence of a kid, and in particular if you're in sales, and how to overcome objections. Another thing he said was poor people should take rich people out to dinner. And that's, you know, might strike some people kind of oddly, but if you think about it, if someone has what you have, then it would behoove you to get around that person so you can question them and talk to them and get to understand how they think, how they move, even if that means you may have to come out of pocket to pay for a dinner just to get some of that time. Thought that was pretty interesting. He talked about the 2 types of sight. You know, you have sight with your eyes, and then you have insight, and that's seeing with your mind. And that's critical. That one thing he said is, when you see with your eyes, you see things. When you see with your mind, you see answers. And I thought that was really, really powerful, because that's basically what you're looking for, is you're looking for answers. And then when you find those answers, then you can be the solution for others who are looking for answers. And guess what? Being that solution pays quite handsomely, all right, if you know how to market and get your solutions in front of those who are looking. Then he talked about taking action, and not just any old action. He talked about taking massive action. All right, he likened it to a sales guy making sales calls. Don't make a couple calls, make a couple thousand calls. All right, if you're door-to-door sales, don't knock on a couple doors, knock on a couple thousand doors. There's a difference between taking action and taking massive actions. That was also critical. And when he talked about taking massive action, he talked about the fact that you may get your hands on a good idea. All right, if you get your hands on a good idea, then you take massive action. Along the same lines, he said you don't have to wait until you learn everything to take action. All right, and this is true of myself. When I got into internet marketing, I was trying to learn. I kept telling myself, making the excuse that once I get everything down packed, man, I'm going to hit this thing and run. But guess what? As I got one thing down packed, then that led to me needing to know something else. So I get in study mode of that thing. So basically, I just became, I got involved in a revolving door of constantly studying and no action. And here's what he says to that. Don't let learning lead to knowledge. Let learning lead to action. Guys, if you got a pen and a paper, write this stuff down. My pastor used to always say, what you write on the line stays in your mind. So write this stuff down and it'll stick to you a little better. So again, he says, don't let your learning lead to knowledge. Let your learning lead to action. So that's where I am now in my career as an online marketer. Everything that I learned, I'm actually implementing and then teaching almost simultaneously. So learn, do, teach is a good way for that information to also stick with you. So you learn something, you start implementing it immediately, and then you start teaching your team exactly what it is that you're learning and what you're doing, and that also helps you become better at what it is that you're learning. And then the last one that I have written down on the list, don't try to beat the system. All right, and this goes to a lot of you guys who are involved in internet marketing and network marketing. There's a handful of things that you have to become good at. Stop trying to cut corners and just follow the system, but just take massive action as you're following the system. So like, for instance, I'm with Empower Network and you're taught to blog daily. All right, at least one blog. All right, at least one blog, and then you're taught to market that blog so you can get it in front of eyeballs. All right, so taking massive action to me means if I have the time, I don't just do one blog and stop at one blog. I might do 3, 4, 5, 6 blogs. All right, and then what I typically do is I get up early in the morning, get a couple blog posts done, and then when I come home in the evening after my job, after work, then I take those few blogs, I might just cut it down to one, and I'm just going to market that one blog massively. And when you talk about marketing, that's sharing it with your social media, you're tweeting about it, you're putting it on Facebook and all that good stuff, man. I mean, groups and forums and all that. You have to do that, but do it in a massive way. Don't think because you take your blog post and you take that one blog post and then you slap it up on YouTube with a quick little message that, or on Facebook with a quick little message. That's marketing. That's taking action, but that's not taking massive action. Massive action would be connecting with a lot of people on Facebook about that particular post. It would be putting that post in 40 to 50 groups on Facebook, and then turn around and doing the same thing with your groups and LinkedIn and some of the other social media outlets, and sharing it on your Google Plus and all that good stuff. And if you're not involved in all those social media platforms, then you might have to take massive action and one day just sit down and get yourself a login for all the different social media outlets out there. All right, put them on a spreadsheet like I do so that I'll never lose my login, and I log into each one of them and I make sure I'm spreading the word about the posts that I'm putting out daily. I'm spreading the word about the videos that I'm putting out daily. So take massive action, guys. This was some good stuff. Definitely want to look up Jim Rohn and take heed to a lot of the information that he's got. Powerful motivational speaker. Has some really good insight for entrepreneurs as well. So I'm H. Cortez, aka The Coach. Give me a like if you found any content in this video. Share it with those in business who you think may need to hear this message. And again, I'm H. Cortez out of St. Louis, Missouri. I am sweating like a fool, so I'm going to get out of here, y'all. Peace.